wanna take time and find it. If they hate, they can't ride beside us. New whip, this time we riding. All my people know out of towners. Yeah, new whip outside is different. Ask me where the carpet, mind your business. New whip outside, I'm vicious. Ask me where the carpet, I'll admit it. Can't you tell that I'm riding with it? 5 or 6, I can't find those digits. Line them up and say mind your business. Don't you know that my mind is different? Can't you tell that I'm riding with it? 5 or 6, I can't find those digits. Line them up and say mind your business. Don't you know that I'm riding with it?
Top prospects seeking a career in the beautiful game look to sharpen their skills today in a soggy Columbus, where the United Stars are about to make their club debut, hosting Magica Sokker Academy and a live and free showcase of some high-level soccer that you can only watch right here on the OH Report. It is the season kickoff to the UPSL season. We'll be taking over your eyeballs and your eardrums here from Columbus. Next.
Hi, I'm OH Report founder Brian Skoronsky. You just heard me on the call, and you can hear me and all the other family of OH reporters pretty much every night here on the future of local sports.
Pre-match coverage here from the Kirk campus on the fabulous campus of Columbus School for Girls down here in a soggy Columbus, Ohio. About to bring you the season spring debut of the United Premier Soccer League. My name is Brian Skoronsky. I'm going to be here with you on the call this afternoon. And with the season getting started here on this rainy day, you're going to get an opportunity to check out some of the top prospects from not necessarily around the globe in this matchup, but the league in general does boast some really quality players here in this United Premier Soccer League that was founded back in 2011 in California. This is a semi-pro league that bridges the gap between the youth and the professional soccer level. It is the largest development league that we have in North America, and it's unofficially kind of considered that fourth tier of the U.S. Soccer Federation pyramid. So it's a very competitive platform where you've got amateurs and some aspiring pros that are both going to be featured here this afternoon for our two teams that are about to go head-to-head. Two of the newer teams that they have in the UPSL in the Magica Sokker Club. This will be their third season competing, and they've got kind of an interesting mix. Talk to their head coach, or one of them. He wanted to deflect a lot of the attention, Justin Reinmuth, to some of the other kids that are putting in a lot of work right now. And their team is comprised of all high school students, the bulk majority of them from right here around the Franklin County area, several of them from Central Crossing. And he feels like they just don't get a great look and feel during their high school careers. So he put together this club a couple of seasons ago. He helps fund it, and he gives these kids a chance to go head-to-head with some big-time prospects, because over on the other side, you're about to see, even though this is going to be their first ever game for the United Stars, they have got a ton of talent to choose from. And I caught up with their head coach, and I believe this is his first time ever getting an opportunity to coach a long-time professional soccer player from all over the globe, I believe starting in Africa, Mr. Remy Tazafor. So let's check that out. I had a few questions for him about just piecing together this roster and what it's been like here over these last couple of months. Tazafor, and before we get into your club here, tell me a little bit about yourself and kind of your background in soccer and where you come from.
I come from Cameroon. That's in Africa. I love soccer. Soccer is my passion. I've played soccer for the past 17 years at the professional level, and coach at the professional level for about 5 years. So it's basically what I love doing.
This is a first-year program, just getting it off the ground here. What's the process of putting this together and then ultimately kind of building a roster?
Well, the goal is to, is to get guys from who has past professional experience, college guys, and then local guys, to mix it all together to build up a team.
And then first ever match here today, obviously early on in the season, a little bit rainy. What are you hoping to accomplish and ultimately get out of today?
We have a game plan, so we think we should be successful. We've worked hard, so we just wishing everything should be good. We prepared for the game. We have some guys missing, but the guys are ready. You can see them right there. So we just hope everything works out well.
All right, man. Best of luck to you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bro. Good luck today. Remy, and he's actually the reason why we're out here today. He contacted me last week and just suggested that this was going to be their first ever match. Thought it'd be cool to come out here and give them some love and showcase this collection of talent that he's been able to piece together. And before we get to the soccer action, let's first pause for the playing of our national anthem. It's time for the Star Spangled Banner. And with that, we're just about set here for today's opening matchup of the spring season 2025. To give you a little bit more background on what you're looking at here today, for those of you that are not soccer gurus or super entrenched within the beautiful game here in America and internationally, the United Premier Soccer League, as I mentioned, it's been around now for about 14 years. They've got 4 different programs that you can compete in: the U15s, U17s, U19, and what you're looking at here today is actually the Amateur Adult League, where the average age is right around 22 years old. They've got regional conferences in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, so it truly is a full North American participation. More than 400 teams, too, compete in 41 different states. They started with just 10 teams in the inaugural year back in 2011, most of those out of the state of California. Since then, they have included numerous MLS U19 teams. They're part of the CONCACAF Confederation. So there's a lot of juice behind this program. It's really growing a lot as the beautiful game continues to get more traction here within America. And we know that there's a strong foundation for it now, and there's a need for this. So super excited that we can be a part of opening day for them. And my producer Adam and I were looking yesterday at the many different matches that they have going on just today. And when you've got 400 teams, that means there's going to be games all over North America that are going down. So I'm quite confident that there are more than 100 matches, I think we can easily say that are happening here today. Within this particular league, which is the highest level that they have in the UPSL, Soda City FC are the defending spring champions, which gives them a seat at the table in some major competition coming up here in the summer, but they're competing again here in the spring, looking to defend that title. And the 2 championships that Soda City FC has actually is a record. There's only 2 teams that have been able to do that so far. So what does that tell you? There's been a lot of parity within this league in the 2 seasons played so far each year. The regional play culminates into the playoff system. So it's pretty cool, but this is just the beginning here for the spring. They're going to play, I think, right around 10 matches before they start getting into some of the postseason competition. So all lined up right there. That is a Magica Sokker Academy. And as mentioned, Coach Ryan Muth, who will also be helped by Wilbur Sapita and then Oscar Marquez Trejo, the 3 coaches. Pretty cool story and background behind them. This is going to be their 3rd season. Don't believe they have won a match yet. And why? Because this is a squad that should be competing in the U17 or even the U15 because there's a lot of young players, several sophomores out there on the club. However, they're choosing to compete at the highest level to get themselves a great look and an opportunity to just have that advancement when they get out of high school, to know that they've gone head-to-head with some studs. And Coach Ryan Muth played for the Buckeyes back in his playing career, and he was just explaining to the kids, once you get to college, even though you might be 17 or 18, you're going to be going up against 22, 23-year-old grown men that they have their eye on the greater prize of trying to compete at the next level and becoming a professional in some capacity. So you may as well get your feet wet now. That way, by time you get up to that mark where you're out of the high school ranks and you're playing collegiately, that this is nothing new and you've already had a taste of the big time. So the team with the ball right now on our scoreboard, that is going to be USSA. The United Stars, Magica, of course, are in the white uniforms. And here are those youngsters controlling here through the midfield. Though a giveaway and a chance here for the Stars to get their first real taste of possession as they're working it through the midfield. Trying to break out to the wing here on the left side. And now a nice pass down into the corner, and that's going to just be absolutely tomahawked out of there by Angel
to the
Rios.
Wing here on the left
one of the backline defenders here for Magica Sokker. So we'll get our first throw in here of the afternoon. Lorenzo Clark, defender on the opposite side for the United Stars. Looks like he's going to handle the detail over on the far sideline where both of the teams' rosters are set up. And he has got a big gun trying to whip it all the way to the box and a header. How about a goal this early on? Andrew Juarez getting his dome piece on it. We are less than 90 seconds into the match, and it is a great debut here for the United Stars.
Whip it all the way to the box and a header.
Hiking up to the second story. He gets a good piece of it, and how about a good piece of history? The first ever goal for the United Stars. You just watched it live and free right here on the OH Report. Very cool stuff. 1 shot, 1 kill. What's the deal? How about 1-0 so far in the early portion of the match here for the Stars? Excellent start. So Juarez, with his first career shot attempt, makes the most of it. But, I mean, come on, just shout out. Bow down to Clark for that throw-in. That's becoming a bigger part of soccer, I think, over the last 10, 12 years. Back in my day growing up, you used to see kids, they would actually have to do a flip with the soccer ball. They've since outlawed that, and you can't do that anymore to try to get a little bit of extra trajectory. So everybody else now, they're just not skipping bicep and tricep day. They're making sure that their shoulders are stout as well, and they can just whip that thing into the box like you saw there, and then nay-nayed in by Andrew Juarez, who gets them on the board. Just about 90 ticks here into the competition. Great stuff. Back through the midfield. Try to poke it into the middle, and it's going to be intercepted Off the deflection, here comes Grant Copon, center fielder for the Stars. Moving it back and forth, and that's going to be picked off here by St. Clemente. So just to reiterate, all high school kids all wearing the white uniforms. The bulk majority of them, I believe, sophomores and seniors, or maybe that was the smaller portion of the group, and then it's a lot of juniors out here. Nevertheless, certainly they're at, if you want to call it a disadvantage due to the youth, all of these kids will be high schoolers next year or for the next 2 or 3 seasons, whereas on the other side for the United Stars, it's my understanding from talking to Remy that these kids are all post-graduation of their high school careers, either competing at the collegiate level and or had competed at a high level when they played during their high school prep playing days. Nice move to the outside across, and it's a little out of range here. Tried to set it up for the one-timer in the header from DeVar Anderson, the right winger. Solid look there on our OH Report instant replay. As we're not even 4 minutes here into the match, we've already had plenty of excitement here in this UPSL opener. The spring season, as mentioned, if you win, ultimately, I'll get exact verification on where it is that you get to go, but I know that the regional play kind of culminates into that playoff system. So you got to win and advance out of your league area, and then you get a chance to take on teams from around the country. And with 41 different states representing quite a few teams, a lot of competition with these 400 different clubs just in North America alone. So it's come a long ways here since their foundation back in 2011 out in Cali, where they probably got a whole lot better weather than we do here today. But this is typical spring early on in April for the Buckeye State. And actually, the forecast flip-flopped a little bit. We were anticipating a clean setup for us when we arrived 2 hours ago, as this is flipped into the box and then headed back to the keeper. That'll be gobbled up. Brandon Bounden getting his first touch on the ball. Not sure what year he is in college, but I know he's competing for Ohio Dominican right now during his collegiate career. Standout high school player here in Ohio. But back to the weather forecast. It's really died down. So nice, calm, perfect temperatures in the low 60s right now. So I think that for these athletes, this is prime and ideal with, I mean, there's a little trickle of rain still coming down, but the bulk majority of the storm, it passed through. We're going to get about an hour to an hour and a half window before it welcomes itself back here into the area. But for right now, pretty comfortable. And with the turf field that they have here on the Kirk campus, at the Columbus School for Girls, the home of the Unicorns, one of the coolest mascots that we have in the entire state of Ohio. An otherwise solid day here for the kickoff to the spring season of some football in the UPSL. Nice low pass, give and go here. Victor Clark tried to lay it to the outside for Lorenzo Clark, who had the assist earlier. Now Copan back to the middle. Strong touch, evading a couple of defenders. Wiggling back goes Abdul Kamara. Nice turn, using his body as a shield is Copan, and he'll flare it out here, but the AR's got the flag up. It'll be offsides. And you can tell, certainly by the reaction there from Anderson, that he felt like he was in a solid position. And I mean, these are professional referees, too. Got a chance to talk with the headman out there in the middle. He's got the visor on. Should have got his name and wrote it down, but he did give me a whole bunch of information just about this league and kind of its prominence. And he said that there are quite a few really solid programs here in Ohio. Several players that will participate in the lower ranks of the MLS. Don't have necessarily any of them in today's game, though. We do have some really good players. I already talked about Bounden, and he's playing at Ohio Dominican. We've got a player pair of players rather from Ohio State that are participating. Jacob Honor, he's from Dublin Drome. Now he dons the Buckeye uniform. And Copon as well, who's from Northwest Ohio. Came from Sylvania Northview during his high school playing days. He also is competing for Ohio State. Haven't seen much from Paul Chen just yet, but supposed to be one of the most exciting prospects picked up here by Coach Remy. He participates for FC Cincinnati, their second leg. FC Cincinnati 2, the name of the program there. So look for Chen when he gets his opportunities to, really showcase his talent. He dons the number 6 out there in the middle. Get a whistle. And we'll stop play. A quick yellow card coming in. So our first card here. And that is... kind of missed it. I was writing down a note. Obviously, it went against the United Stars. I just didn't see exactly what it was for. So the Stars pick up a yellow. And it's been a pretty clean match, actually, so far, too. Have been very few fouls up to this point. Absolutely booming kick here from Christopher Marengo. Hangs a little bit up in the air, and it'll be scooted out of play here by DeVar Anderson over to the near sideline by our camera. Jory Hollenbeck, your top cam operator here this afternoon, braving the rain so that you don't have to, and that you could hang out and watch live and free right here on the OH Report for our UPSL debut coverage. And hopefully looking forward to doing more of this as the spring progresses. This is a bit of a trial run for us here today. Wanted to get our feet wet, quite literally, out here on the field and just see if this is a good fit for us, see if the fans enjoy it, and certainly just try to create some exposure here for both of these teams. That's kind of the name of the game. That's, even though you're wanting to continue your competition and keep those juices flowing, it's also about getting recognized and being seen as a player that would be able to participate as a rep at the professional soccer level, either here in America, or obviously Mexico's got some leagues, Canada as well, or overseas in Europe, the grand prizes of the Premier League and so forth. Just a chance to kind of showcase what you're really able to do. Sharp ball movement, tried to poke around the defender, and after the fast wiggle, it's plopped up in the air, headed down. And here comes the Stars. Shakes that one out wide, a little bit too far. Andrew Juarez tried to make the charge. It's going to be out of his range. And just a little bit out in front of Chris Navarro as well.
Maybe mention this is a made-up entity. We're doing a good job, but there isn't one even behind.
Just to make a note for you guys with our clock here today, they do not have an official clock operator outside of the gentleman in the middle of the field in that fancy visor who I mentioned, who's got on the referee jersey. So this clock that you're looking at, it's unofficial. I'm not sure exactly when he's going to be stopping the time. We assume outside of goals it'll continue to roll and they will add extra time, but that was something that was not communicated with us. So don't pay a super ton of attention to it when it starts getting on late time, because we just don't know specifics. First corner kick opportunity, though, for either unit. Stars got it teed up. And, boy, a host of yellow jerseys here in the box. Back post in the header. That one will flare out from Jesse Bako, the defender, getting involved. And he gave a little above-the-head clap, which means solid placement, decent timing as well. And that was Paul Chen, who was on the ball out there. First time that I've had an opportunity to really call out his name, the gentleman from FC Cincinnati. Do have a really accomplished club player as well in Juarez, who talked about him a little bit here today. So, there really are 5 top-notch, top-quality players out here on the pitch right now for United Stars, but that's just the players that I really know of. If we continue to follow them throughout the course of their spring journey, we'll get more bios and we'll learn more stories. I'll get a chance to do some interviews with some of these players. And certainly today we are going to have a post-match conversation with the man of the match, whoever it is that is the star performer today.
I didn't hear it, so it's a distance thing. Well, hold
So rain's starting to flood down a little bit hard now with the cascading, thunder rolling skies here in the greater Columbus area. Off the foul will be the second here against the Stars. It's going to be a free kick op here for the Magica Sokker Club. And they've got just about everybody north of midfield right now.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, if you lose me, I'll try to find a way to get you back. It's just too much there.
Taking the time for the referees to take their marks. And here comes left foot driven in really low. They're able to find it to the back half. Sharp dribbling and the first shot and a save here by Bounden. He's got to drop down to his knees and comes up with his first save on the first shot attempt so far of the match for Magica. But I love the little juke. And then how about this? Whoop! Able to blow by the first defender. And then Christopher Moreno drives it in low. Excellent placement, though, by the keeper, Bounden. Be able to hop on top of the ball and lay it dead right in its tracks. Quick reversal of the fields. It's Angel Rios blistering it down the far sideline. And that'll roll out of bounds right near the mid-pitch. And right about 14 minutes gone by here in Columbus. For this UPSL spring debut, first ever match for the United Stars. And pretty cool that this program's come together. I'll have to try to get exact identification of how many academies and clubs there are here within the league in the Buckeye State, but quite a few. There's a few just right here in Columbus as well. These two represented United Stars based out of Lancaster as their specific home, and Magica Sokker here in Columbus too. I believe there's a top flight club here in this area too. Cincinnati's got a big time club, I was hearing from some of the referees. Ball gets loose a little bit. Collected here from Bounden. And he'll walk it out and just roll it back to where he came. Play it short. Try to find some feet here for the United Stars. Looking to build a bit of team chemistry. Haven't had a ton of practices just yet. And again, you see the big right leg of Rios. Got a lot of air underneath that one. And now here's Chen. Lays it back to that retaining line there on the backside here for the Stars. Out on the left side, they'll poke it up here for Clark. Clark out wide. Little give and go action. Now Victor Clark looking for the cross. Goes one-on-one, goes touchline, the cross, and it's flicked out of there off the head. Trying to settle it at the feet is Anderson, but they'll maintain possession. Bako back to the midfield. Work it for Juarez. Another good look as we get a shot ripped, and now we've got a diving save here. So just the second shot so far for the United Stars. Check this out, one-timer, and just absolutely drilled. So corner kick number 2 on the way for Chen and company. Chen awaiting the sign from the referee. Big cluster in the box right now. 7 players wearing those highlighter bright uniforms. And we do have our second card of the match. Magica Sokker just picked up their first. Little conversation there from the head official. to the gentleman who just picked up the infraction. Looked like it was Christopher Moreno. Now here it is, Chen going back post, overshoots everybody, and that'll just sail out of play. And this is a little bit smaller dimensions of the pitch that Chen and company are accustomed to playing to, certainly on the collegiate level. Not a full-size pitch out here on the Kirk campus, but a really, really nice texture that they have here for the turf. And it really retains this moisture quite well. As I mentioned, I mean, it was a soggy downpour when we arrived earlier, and after a couple hours, you know, out there walking the pitch, just making sure that it's comfortable for the players and certainly the referees and obviously everybody involved, just trying to ensure that they've got a dominant playing surface that can hold them in just fine, man. It's super solid. So this could be a spot where they continue to play their games throughout the course of the season. As we'll get a tackle, and out of bounds, should just be a throw-in over on the near sideline for the Stars. But there it is, the contact coming in after the touch on the ball. St. Anderson flopping forward. And actually, I retract that statement. It will be the second foul against Magica. And a chance to set up here with the free kick. Trying to set up a few alleyways here right now are the United Stars. Players locked up in bunches, 2 each, as the keeper has to come out and it'll be headed away. And I think we'll get a foul against the United Stars. That'll be their third. Aggressively going after the rock. So we've seen Angel Sanchez so far outside of the goal that he allowed from Juarez in like the first 80 seconds. He's been solid. It's got a nice clean save, and he's been in a good position on a couple of other occasions when the ball's rolled into the attacking third for the Stars. So we're about 20 minutes gone by here off the clock. And the rain's certainly starting to pick up right now. Temperatures dropping. You can feel that there's just a little bit of a culmination within Mother Nature to kind of change the entire atmosphere around here. We'll see what type of effects that'll have here until the rain starts to dissipate. Maybe it won't. Forecasts certainly did not look like it was conducive to really let up for very long. So we might have already had our window for about that 15-minute stretch. Low drive in, and it's just in front of the frame. A diving Sanchez wasn't able to get a piece of it. And the ball's going to stay down here at this end. We're going to throw in one more look on our replay. Beautiful cross, and you saw that there were 2 different players in your picture for the Stars that had an opportunity to try to crush that thing into the back of the net and just slightly out in front. The lone goal so far of the match for either unit came off of a throw, and we're going to get another one right here. Clark wheels and tills and nearly served it up on a platter yet again. And it's going to be a corner kick, so over the touchline, but how beautiful was that setup? And DeVar Anderson able to get clean dome on ball. Sets it down. Sanchez was there, though, for the block. Now here goes Juarez, the shot and the save. And it caroms around. I think that hit right off the chest of Jacob Honor. Spin that replay back for you here in just a moment. Here it comes. So off of the short play, Juarez to the left foot, sets it up, drive there by Copan, and then boom.
That hit everybody down there.
That was like a game of Plinko there. If you're a fan of The Price is Right, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe some pinball action, too. I think there was about 6 players that were all involved in the mayhem. So for the Stars now, 5 shots, 4 of them have been on frame, and a couple of nice stops now for Angel Sanchez. He is getting a good taste back there in between the pipes. And now he's got a goal kick. Do want to say hello to everybody out there watching on our Facebook, YouTube, and also our Twitter X profiles. If you drop me a comment when we get some downtime, I'll certainly take a look at any that are rolling in, and I will shout you out. If you are just finding out about the OH Report for the first time, let us know that too. Always love hearing from the fans, and that's a big part of what we do here on our channels, is that we make you a part of the game. That way it's not just me talking the entire time. Obviously, we're here for the athletes in the game, but we also want to hear from you, get your opinions on what you've just seen and your favorite players, where you're watching from, the whole 9 yards. Drop us a comment, and we will feature you at some point in our fan zone. And taking a look at the radar now, looks like the cell that's coming through right now, we're right in the thick of it. It may break up a little bit, but we're under a tent. I'm dry now after setup, so I'm cool. But what type of impact does that have out there on the pitch? As mentioned, the drainage here, phenomenal. So the playing surface, at least as of about 40 minutes ago when I was out there walking it, it felt really clean underneath my shoes, and I've got on some slick bottoms too. So I think they should be just fine out there. And if anything, with a little bit warmer temperatures, now probably in the mid-50s, it definitely felt like we had a drop-off. I think everybody's probably feeling good. Oh, a little bit of wind actually that's making it feel a little bit chillier as the temperature rising here in this mid-afternoon into the 60s, baby. So springtime, kind of here. Yeah, it's here. We got the April showers. That's what it's all about, right? Just waiting on those Mayflowers, but that's a long way away. Got some foliage on the trees, though. Beautiful backdrop here at the Columbus School for Girls. Really cool campus. Basically right in a neighborhood as well. We were trying to pick up some Wi-Fi off of a person's speaker earlier, so shout out to you, whoever allowed us to at least try to connect. Never did, but maybe that's just because they were jamming out. Who knows? Could be really enjoying their little Saturday. Absolutely. I'm looking over here. If it wasn't raining so bad, there's a nice little allotment of porches and some decks and balconies where people could set up, get their popcorn ready, and not have to pay the price of admission. I'm not sure if they charge to get into these games, but if they did, you could probably just go hang out at some of the neighborhood spots over here. You know, might be $5 for parking at their house, but could be free snacks. Who knows? We'll try to get the 411 on all that. But as we're back to the soccer, here comes Juarez looking to deal from the midfield. Now Chen up top. Nice movement. Oh, one touch, trying to settle down the shot, and it's deflected. So another decent look here for the Stars. They're going to try to stay on the attack. Coming back post here. And coming off his line goes Sanchez, but offsides is the call. Victor Clark just a step beyond where he needed to be. But another decent showcase here for the offense of the United Stars, and just on opening day in their first ever match for this program, you can tell that there's some decent continuity, and these guys starting to get a feel for one another out here. There's about 5-6 passes to try to set up that last shot attempt. On the other side, too, for Magica Sokker, plenty of these kids are actually high school teammates. Many of them coming, as I mentioned, from a lot of the same high schools down here in this area. And if you are just joining us in this battle here of the UPSL, this is the Amateur Adult League. So we've got guys from a lot of different colleges represented for the United Stars. On the other side, for Magica Sokker, they are perhaps one of the very few teams in the entire country of those 400-plus clubs, as we get some nice wiggle room down on that far sideline. Wasn't actually given a number 22, so I don't know exactly who that is for Magica Sokker, but he's done well over on that left wing. See if I can't get his name at some point. But yeah, pretty cool that we've got a collection of some solid college kids, and beyond that, at least out of the high school ranks, going head-to-head with all high school kids here for Magica. So what an opportunity if you're a soccer stud from the greater Columbus area and you're just looking to get involved. Certainly would recommend reaching out to Coach Rymuth. Just see what it takes to be a part. Quick transition soccer here. Poked into the middle, and then the slide tackle well done from Aiden Sharuta. So a nice bit of defending right there to try to break up what could have been a solid shot attempt for the United Stars. Don't have ball boys out here on the pitch this afternoon, but maybe, just maybe, one of these aired balls will land in a backyard, and a kid will come out and be like, you know what, I want to get over there and be a part of this thing. So it takes a little while to get back onto the playing surface when these shots run beyond. Navarro off the restart in the goal kick. Into the middle of the pitch. Settles at the feet of Chen. He'll break it out wide here. Anderson looking to go one-on-one. You see he's got the foot skills. As the ball's going to run right under our feet. And last touched here by Magica Sokker. As it's poked out of bounds here by Navarro. And it's going to set up corner kick opportunity. Chen brings it over to the flag. Paul's got 5 players in the box, 2 more on the outside looking to make their break. Here it is near post, and that's going to be flicked off the dome piece of Haruta. Or Jacob Honor, rather, excuse me.
This is a different set even.
Into the middle, giveaway here from Sokker. Drilled from way downtown there from Bako, I think just trying to stir things up. But it's deflected, and now back at the feet here of Magica Sokker, looking to make their chase down into the attacking third for Moreno. Now here is Waruta. Lays it back for Sanchez. And dials it back down here for Rios. Got a little bit of space as they'll switch fields over for Navarro. Long carry here, and no pressure coming. So I'll step it back and just wing it down into the corner. Looking for one of his teammates to try to run it down. Instead, it's a turnover. And now a chance here for the United Stars to do something with it, but instead it'll be a slide tackle into the back of the legs, and maybe another yellow card. It will be second one here of the match against the Stars. And it's their 4th foul so far here of the afternoon. And you could tell clearly a bit of a dangerous play here for Abdul Kamara as it's right into the back of the legs. So you see Christopher Moreno dusting himself off. As they'll have an opportunity for about a 35-yard set piece here. See how Coach Rymuth's club elects to attack. It's going to be a short touch, and then they'll drill one, but it's way over top. It's the second shot so far for Magica. And plenty of space there. It's hard to blame them, and that probably was the desired shot attempt. Just sailed a bit, wasn't able to keep that one down. So with that, it's now 6 shots for United Stars, a couple for Magica Sokker. And how about this? The keeper, Brandon Bowden, had to come out. That's actually the 3rd shot attempt now, as the goal was left all by itself, but it didn't cost him. Just waiting the ball to get back over into the pitch. So as I mentioned, they've got to chase down their own loose balls out here this afternoon.
Oh, he couldn't make it over.
But it does give these lads an opportunity to just try to catch their breath. Like a quasi timeout, and of course, in the beautiful game, you don't get any of those. Here we go, back to action. Chen from the middle. He's got a head of steam. And drops it off. Here's one of the captains. Blistering it up top here. That was Andrew Juarez. Just a bit outside of the range. And they are, says, offsides again. We've had plenty of those here against the Stars. Unofficially, I think I've got them down for 4 right now. But very aggressive on the attack, looking for those deep balls. Throttled a few, though. And they've also had a couple of close calls. Certainly, I know Anderson did earlier. And here he is with the give and go. Funnel it back into the middle. Nice, crafty play. But stolen there by Sanchez. And he'll push it ahead now on the left wing. Solid tackle. And should belong to the Stars. It does indeed. How about that play? Be able to knock it right off of the defender, get the throw in. Beautiful stuff there from Jesse Bako. But the call has changed, actually. So they award possession over to Magica Sokker. They don't hang on to it for long, though. Busted up before Juarez had a chance to try to drill a shot there from the middle. Now down the near sideline for you. That'll race out of bounds. Want to say what up to Justin Kroll, who says lots of quality players in the UPSL League. Yeah, no question about it. Seeing plenty of them out here. And Laura Supersinski just sending out prayers to everybody that's participating here this afternoon. And with the rain coming down, we'll take it certainly, as it does make for a bit more of a challenging playing surface, but also a bit more fun too when that ball will skip around a bit, and sometimes you'll try to measure out a pass or a low shot, and it'll take a skip or a hop in a wild direction, and just makes it for kind of an eventful afternoon.
Okay, so we just kind of have to upload them at some point also. Okay.
Got a handful of fans here on deck. All of them wisely with their umbrellas. And here comes Chen. He'll pitch it out wide to the left side. And that's going to be interrupted by Chris Navarro. Be a throw-in coming up now for the United Stars. Juarez makes his run. Now Chen, back post, hanging for Anderson. And he gets a piece of it. A little bit off target right there. 7 shot attempts for the United Stars. And more solid contacts. This post here on the near side, that's kind of been the target very often so far for the Stars. That's where they were able to deliver their first goal and only goal so far of the match. Coming courtesy of Andrew Juarez from the midfield off the throw-in from Lorenzo Clark. Now here's another shot, deflected. Good looking chance there from Grant Copan. Now Chen trying to sell it. Took a bit of a dive. Held a throw-in rather coming up. Here's another look. Just one more extra touch that time from Grant. And defended nicely there for Navarro. Turned his back and was able to absorb. So the lone goal right now so far off of a throw-in from Lorenzo Clark. He's backing up the hill. He's not even pictured right now. They've got a little uphill. There he comes. So downward start, and he comes near post. Zanardo wasn't able to get much of it, and this one well over top from Victor Clark. But check this out. I mean, you want to talk about getting ahead of steam, literally coming down off the hill. That's usually just an analogy that we are using in sports, but he got the chance here at this particular pitch. Rios has it teed up off the restart and drill that one to the midfield. Chased all the way back to Brandon Bounden. Chan looks to settle. Oh, sharp pass here for Anderson. The defense coming over, Rios pressing on him a bit. Hops down to Navarro, and Anderson sees it knocked out of bounds by a charging Johnny Sierra right in front of him. So another throw-in coming up on the way here for the United Stars. And you know what that means. We're sending Lorenzo back over the big gun. He's going to get that running start. Almost like a roller coaster here. Like we're at Elitch's. And here it comes. He's released. Another big throw. He'll whip this one right into the middle. Poked up off the crossbar. So Sanchez with a save. Now Lorenzo back in there, headed. And return to sender back his way. They'll set up a corner kick. But let's spin that back one more time for you. Here's Clark. And just an absolute brute. Almost threw that in. And you can. That would have been a goal. Only seen that a couple of times at the high school ranks. Because we just don't have kids that have this type of power very often, as that's going to be settled in. And the goal here from Marco Zanardo coming up from his defender role. It's 2-0. USSA back on the board. And it's been the set pieces that have been so deadly thus far. Second assist from Lorenzo Clark. So kind of book-ending the section of this first half, about 90 seconds in. Juarez with the first goal, now Zanardo. And you can see there just excellent execution. Knocked down by Marco. And not going to call that an own goal. Obviously, the defender trying to chase that one out of there, but it was too little too late as it had already made its way just beyond the line. So with what we believe to be under 5 minutes to go here, and again, our clock unofficial, they don't have a scoreboard operator out here this afternoon. The only man with the official time is running around out there in the visor in the red long sleeve. But we got to be pretty close. So this is right around the final 5 minutes here of half number one of a scheduled two. They play 90 minutes, a la the pros. And what did we get here? Looks like a foul off the bump. And another card, boy. Third one against the United Stars already. Magica Sokker's got one themselves. Of course, you do get a pair of yellow cards before they make you sit over on that sideline for the remainder of the match. And here we are back to the action off the free kick. First touched here by the Stars. It'll progress out wide now. Here comes Magica into the attacking third out wide, looking for a cross. Heavy touch. And it allows Juarez to try to clean it up, at least for now. Charging into the picture comes Rios. Just ping-ponging it back and forth. Now Navarro got a little bit of space. Pushing it forward and intercepted. Here comes Bako out wide. Get a chance one-on-one here with the keeper. Not a great angle, but the shot attempt here from Victor Clark. And the save from Angel Sanchez. Elected just to try to one-time that up instead of try to chase it one touch closer. Moving at that speed probably would have been a challenging angle. 6 shot on net so far here for the United Stars. Offensively in stretches, they've been really crisp. Specifically, though, when they've had those chances, corners, throw-in, set pieces. Really very dynamic in a bunch that, in their first ever match, looking pretty solid out there. The rain, too, it's been pretty consistent. Not exactly falling in buckets right now, but still a driving rain, and it's been coming through the Columbus area for the better part of 5 hours. So a soggy playing surface. This player's handling it well. Let's see what the whistle is. We're getting another card. So the 4th yellow assessed here to the United Stars, and
What was he assessed at?
and it wasn't off of the complaint there, of course. Just Jacob Honor. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know anything more than a UPSL official who also does collegiate games as well at the highest ranks. Not accustomed to do mostly high school soccer here on the OH Report. If we have a match that has 5 yellow cards, that means it got incredibly chippy out there. So they award these a little bit more frequent of a rate here in this league. Is off the set piece, driven in low, and knocked out of there. So it didn't go down as an official shot attempt. Now here's a chance on the fly. Here comes Copan to the middle. What a setup. Oh, overshooting it was Victor Clark. It looked like he was going to have a chance for the one-timer and would have been a really tough save for Sanchez. See, he times it up perfectly and just did not get a whole lot of sauce behind it right there. He needed a bit more of that medium variety or even some hot sauce. Just packing a bit of the mild right there and leaves it at 2-0. And you see our clock has run out. Might have some extra time still remaining out there. So my guess would be probably not more than about 3 minutes or so. Throw-in coming up here for Magica Sokker. And kept in play here by DeVar Anderson. As the Stars try to switch fields. Sokkerka jogging up. Good look right there for Magica. That was Mohamed Berry coming up, getting his first shot attempt. 4 so far this opening half for the Magica Sokker Club. Really quick off the goal kick there for Bounden. And he's been a really abrupt decision maker out there. Doesn't waste a lot of seconds. Just trying to get the ball back into the action and on short time, of course. Trying to get as many looks as humanly possible. So this is extra time right now here in this opening half. Probably just a couple minutes away before we hear those halftime whistles. And this has basically been the deadliest weapon on either side so far when Lorenzo Clark has had a chance to literally Be Jack and Jill coming down the hill. See if he can throw it into the pail. Whips it right into the middle. Punched out of there by Sanchez. And Angel a little bit slow to get up there. See if we can identify specifically what happened here on our replay. Just got knocked down. I think that was Jesse Bako. Big athletic body flying in. Here he is right now, coming away with the theft. Gives it right back, though. Johnny Sierra with a solid read. Out for Moreno. He'll chip it. Back post. Battle for possession. And it's whipped out of there by the Stars. Another big ball. Chen, though, off the side of his foot. And that'll take us to the halftime break. The United Stars in their first inaugural match here. First ever, starting things off in the spring of the 2025 season. So far off to a 2-0 cushion. Goals from Juarez and Zanardo right now are the difference. We'll step aside. When we come back, we will have some halftime statistics for you guys. And we'll get you all set up for the next 45 minutes of action out here in a very rainy Columbus right now. The Cats and the Dogs are coming down, dropping out of the sky. We'll see you back here at Kirk campus at the Columbus School for Girls in just a couple of minutes.
Hi, I'm OH Report founder Brian Skoronsky. You just heard me on the call, and you can hear me and all the other family of OH reporters pretty much every night here on the future of local sports.
Halftime here in soggy Columbus here on the Kirk campus of the Columbus School for Girls for opening day of the United Premier Soccer League. And right now the first ever match for Remy Tazafour and his United Stars going pretty well as they lead it 2-0 right now over Magica Sokker. I am Brian Skoronsky here with you for your entertainment along with the soccer this afternoon. And super excited to be here with you guys for this United Premier Soccer League debut on our channels. One more time, give you guys just a quick background on it. They've been around since 2011. It's a semi-pro league. They kind of bridge that gap between the youth and the professional soccer leagues. And they are by far the largest development league that we have here in North America, acting as that fourth tier for the U.S. Soccer Federation pyramid. very competitive platform for the amateurs and, of course, some aspiring pros. We've got all of the above out here this afternoon. Here's the goals that you're looking at, and we've got a montage of highlights as well. Juarez broke things up in the first 90 seconds of the match. Lorenzo Clark with the assists, and there's Clark with his second dime so far here of the afternoon. That's Zanardo there with the goal, Marco Zanardo. And that is how we've got to 2-0. The goals coming very early on in that first half. And then even with the extra time, we'd say there was probably 8 minutes or so remaining there in the opening half when Zanardo made the score 2-0. Take a look at your halftime stats so far, and it is 60% of the possession belonging to the United Star Soccer Academy, and they've kind of dominated time of possession, I would say, at least in enemy territory as well. The 9 shots that they've been able to produce, 6 of those have been on frame. Tip your cap so far. Angel Sanchez has been tested thoroughly so far here in the match. He's got 4 saves by my count and has really done a nice job of just trying to protect in most situations. On the other side, Magica Sokker, they have not been able to develop quite the amount of offense that they would need to be able to generate some goals against Brandon Bounden, who is a star goalkeeper right here in the Columbus area, participating for Ohio Dominican on the Division II level. He's done a nice job so far of having the 1 save opportunity. They really needed to step up. Did run out of the goal 1 time where he left it wide open. Didn't cost them, though, as the shot sailed wide, and then the foul differential. And you're going to see that in most of the matches, I think, so far this season with Magica Sokker Academy, where, of course, they're all high school kids, and a lot of them are 15, 16, 17 years old. When you're going up against dudes that are in college, up to like 23 years old, the physicality is just on a different level and rate than you are accustomed to playing. Even if you're in a club team and you got to go against some of the big boys and some of the better soccer players across not just the Buckeye State but the entire region. So this is just a little bit different of a variety pack of what you're accustomed to, and I think that's why the foul differential, of course, for the Stars, they're going to be the more physical kids out there. They've just got that dominant prowess about them, and then also when you're going up against younger players, you kind of want to flex a bit on them, and that's why they've got the differential so far being what it is. But the 4 yellow cards, certainly might get an opportunity to try to talk with some of the officials that are they're hanging out there in a huddle right now in a little shed that we have right next to us, just about what it is that they identify that would go beyond just to use an NBA term, just a typical foul, whereas now they're progressing into that next level, and they make it what's a flagrant in the NBA, which is the league I'm super familiar with out here. They're just handing out yellow cards, so it's not necessarily that it's that big of a deal. Of course, you get 2 of them before you're having to evade your space and leave the match, so 5 of them total for the 2 units thus far here in the opening half, as we're taking a look at some of the sights of the first half. Here are the stats one more time for you guys. So far through 45 minutes of action, still 45 more scheduled here. Not sure if they'll go into an overtime period or not. I will ask the referees after we take another commercial timeout here and just kind of figure out exactly what the format is going to be over the next 45 minutes or beyond that if necessary. But if you're the United Stars, you're in prime position here to ensure that all you need is that regulation, baby. They've got 2 goals so far. They've been producing quite a bit of offense and a chance to try to create even more distance when they come out here in half number 2. We will step aside, though, one more time, and there is a look at exactly what we're dealing with, and just a few fans in attendance here this afternoon and wisely equipped with the protection gear. But yeah, so it's starting to puddle a little bit there on the concrete, so I'm going to actually take a little walk out at halftime and just see exactly how good this turf is holding up. And we'll be back here in a couple of minutes. We will have your second half action. United Stars versus Magica Sokker Academy. We'll return here in just a little bit.
Hi, I'm OH Report founder Brian Skoronsky. You just heard me on the call, and you can hear me and all the other family of OH reporters pretty much every night here on the future of local sports.
Halftime just about done in the books here at the Kirk campus of the Columbus School for Girls. Magica Sokker Academy out there right now warming up as they are getting ready for second half action, trailing though so far to the United Stars in their first ever match here in the UPSL. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brian Skoronsky, welcoming you back to a very soggy Columbus, Ohio. Opening day here for the United Premier Soccer League. Do want to say what's up to everybody out there watching live and free, the most of y'all over on our YouTube channel. Also streaming on Facebook as well as our Twitter page. So if you do drop us some comments throughout the course of the second half, like Tia File just did. She said, "Let's go Abdul," with a strongy armed guy. Drop us some more of those comments and we will feature you in the fan zone. I will read some comments when we get some breaks throughout the course of this second half action. Both teams right now out on the pitch, awaiting the referees to get back into their places. We're probably about a minute away from starting up the second half. Rain not dissipating whatsoever. Matter of fact, as soon as the halftime whistles blew, it felt like it kind of went to a new level, and it's a bit more puddly out there than it was to start today's match. Both teams, though, haven't really been affected by it. As mentioned, really nice playing surface out here at the Columbus School for Girls. Got a new turf facility, and it's really holding up quite nicely. Haven't seen anybody from either side stumble a bit out there, so footing has not been a problem thus far. If this is your first introduction to the OH Report, we predominantly do high school sports for the Buckeye State. It is baseball and softball season right now for us, and we do have some live streams coming up here this next week. That it looks like I still need to designate exactly the games that we are going to go to. So if you keep it with us over the next several weeks, you can keep up with all the action that we have to offer in North Central Ohio. Do work with some teams down here in the Columbus area out of Delaware. We'll have some big walnut baseball coming up for you guys this year. And plenty of action from Richland, Ashland, Crawford, Knox, Morrow, and Marion County on the way too. So do give us a like, a follow, no matter what social media platform you are on, and you can keep up with us for all of our high school sports coverage, and hoping to be a bigger part here of the UPSL moving forward. Might keep our coverage coming for the United Stars that are looking to go to 1-0 so far here on the early portion of their program's season. More than 400 teams represented across 41 states here in this league. Really have come a long way since getting their foundation back in 2011, where they just had 10 teams to start. So they've put themselves in a position now where they're part of the CONCACAF Confederation. And there's some serious talent across the board. Several players in teams actually are part of the numerous MLS U19 clubs. So, there's a lot to be excited about being involved here with the UPSL League. And as we're back to action here in half number 2, I want to give a quick shout out to our camera lady, Jory Hollenbeck. She's actually been a little bit under the weather. She's got some laryngitis action going on right now, which I previously had. This is actually my first time back on the mic since I caught it last weekend. But, I thought that I'd be a nice guy and pass it along to her, see if she wanted to try it out. And she's battling through that right now in the rain. So getting you all these nice tight shots throughout the course of the afternoon here today. As they're working it down the left side, here's Clark, who's got a pair of assists. He's looking for one more. Front and center had a charging Grant Copan coming through from his center position. And the Buckeye just missed an opportunity to try to stick that one there into the back. Sylvania Northview Products has played well so far here this afternoon. From the middle, here comes Nardo, who was able to finish off the second goal so far and extend out their cushion. 2-goal lead. So that's broken up by the Magica Sokker Academy's back unit. So some early pressure being put on here by the Stars. So they'll play it back here for Bounden. That'll be scooped up here by Sanchez. Off the cross to the middle. That was Anderson trying to sneak it past. Had Victor Clark coming from his left wing spot. Got a player down right now. Referees haven't identified it, but these are some tough kids. I believe that was Lorenzo Clark, so he popped up. And here he is pressuring and coming away with a takeaway, actually. As he sets up Juarez, he'll sweep it here to the back line for Bako. Now Chen out to the left wing. Sharp ball movement all around the perimeter of the park right now. Looking to try to find a chink in the armor. As this is delivered, Honor deep to the left side, the setup in the middle, and it's knocked out of there momentarily right now by Magica. United Stars staying on the attack. Circling back into the equation goes Clark. He'll make his run as he gets it to Lorenzo Clark. Drops down at the feet and just busted up at the last moment here for Magica Sokker Academy. Take a look at an extended replay. On the money, nice pass from distance to Lorenzo. A diving Sanchez wasn't able to get a paw on it. However, had a pair of defenders there on that back line. I think it was Navarro that was there for the help side defense. And they keep the score here just at 2-0. Looks like we're going to get our first substitution. Look like Aiden Haruta will check out here for Magica. And we'll get our first look at Amar Hussein, I do believe. Off the throw-in, down in the corner, chested down. A little bit of contact. Copan goes touchline and knocked out of there by Angel Rios. Corner kick opportunity coming up in the 4th one of the match for the United Stars. This has been where Paul Chen has typically been on the ball. He's had a couple of effective strikes. And the Stars, I mean, they really sell out for these. They've got everybody up, and even Bounden, the keeper, all the way at midfield, as it's a slow roller in there near post. And no real shot attempt produced here by the Stars. I think Juarez was trying to go for a little highlight reel. Back tap heel action on frame. Just not very pure contact with it. And look at all the water that just flies off the hair there of Marco Zanardo. So that little bit of the video kind of showcases just how wet it is out here, as it'll slip by here. And well done by DeVar Anderson to not allow a corner kick, as just at the last moment he'll stroke it out of bounds and will set up a long throw-in. Never mind. Actually, it will be a corner. There's a lot of lines out here. Looks like the red one is the touch line. And so first corner kick for Magica. See if they can produce a shot out of it. Nice setup. It'll misfired here on the near portion of the net. 5th shot by Magica. Johnny Sierra. Like the hesitation that he was able to show off there. He's had some nice flair to his game so far here this afternoon. And again, Brendan Bounden typically taking no time here with the restarts on these goal kicks. Jacob Honner has been like his security blanket. Just knocks it over to him and allows Jacob to try to make a decision. And why not? I mean, the kid from Jerome playing for the Buckeyes, as there's a lot of bodies in front of the net. Couple of shots and headed out of there. The United Stars do a nice job to fuel their way quickly down into the attacking third here with Victor Clark going touchline. And off of that side post there, Angel Sanchez with another stop. 7th shot on frame so far here for the Stars. 5 of them have been saved so far by Sanchez. Meanwhile, Anderson strokes that one. And they tie into the right with the shot attempt. Stars got a couple of them here over these first 9 minutes. As we're back to action. Chased down here by Bako. Looking for some options. And to the middle. Settles down here at the feet of Juarez. Pitch it out wide for Clark. Now back to Juarez. Low driver into space and headed out of there again. Was able to find Kamara. Just beautiful execution, measured precisely. And clearly Kamara was trying to set up his teammate there, making that back post drive. It'll belong here with the Stars. Throw it down into the corner. Now Clark. Brings it back out for Zanardo. Into the mixing bowl. But it'll get broken up here, Navarro. Puts it out in front. Give and go action off the run. Here comes Magica Sokker Academy. But it'll be knocked out of bounds. I want to say what's up to DJ Moore. Hit me up in the chat section. Wants to know if we cover MOAC soccer. You know it, baby. Cover quite a few teams, actually, in the MOAC. So if you're referring, obviously, to the Mid-Ohio Athletic Conference, to the high school ranks, we will be out there. A bunch coming up here in the fall. Brandon Bounden Dropping down, scooping that thing up. And he's done well so far. Hasn't had to do a ton in terms of just throwing on that Superman cape. No diving saves or anything. But he just kind of seemed like a cool customer that, constantly communicating with his back line and just right place, right time type of cat. So like what we've seen from Brandon so far here in that starting keeper role for the United Stars. Quick throw in, sizzling it down the far sideline. Here comes Clark. Now here he is, lobbing it. Touch tried to go back to him. Bending it around the outside is Juarez for Bako now. He'll make his run. Stars being patient as they chip it back into the middle. And Magica Sokker able to eliminate that offensive opportunity. And boy, they've got a chance. Plenty of greenery out in front right now. This is Hussein who checked into the mix. First player off the bench here for either unit. Trying to will and deal, but just a little bit too much foot traffic. Kamara coming away with the rock. Now down into the corner, backside post, and close to an own goal right there as Marco Zanardo saw he had the right idea just to get it out of there, and actually from our vantage point a lot closer than it actually was. So probably just a smart piece of defense right there. It'll set up the second corner kick here of half two for Magica. They elected to play the first one short. See what they do this time. I still have not been able to identify who the lad is, number 22. We'll play short though again. Try to go 1v1 right against DeVar Anderson. He won that matchup. Now just using his body here to shield off the defender goes Copon. And that's kind of the difference with these college cats going up against these high school kids here is just, as we mentioned at the halftime, that physicality. So here is another look at that corner kick opportunity. And, I mean, it was basically just a race right from the start there. DeVar Anderson, like a number 2 pencil, coming over and just making sure that it never had a chance for a liftoff. Nothing got off the ground there. And quickly kind of flipping the field. And it's a throw-in, so you already know what it is. Number 17, Lorenzo Clark. He has been that dude so far from either side to be able to just make a little bit of noise here off of the throw-in. He's literally run down hills. Now he's coming all the way back from the fence. Look at the trajectory on that thing. I mean, he overshot everybody. He had Copon on the back post, but I think he even went beyond the window that he was trying to thread it inside. Will go down as a shot, though, off the header. And this will set up corner kick number 5 now for the Stars. Paul Chen drills it. And it's poached out of there almost immediately by Magica. Slide tackle, good, clean piece of the ball. Navarro's down, grabbing his ankles, but it was a clean tackle, as you saw clearly. And now poked away last moment by Clark. So a throw-in on the way here for the Magica Sokker Academy. And I think they're allowing some time for the injured player for Magica to try to regain a bit of his composure. So that... Well, actually, in real time, I thought that he actually had got all ball. Little less leather that time that you see there on the replay, but that's, obviously the ability that we have here is to be able to look back at it in a little bit slower tempo and speed, and maybe should have drawn a whistle. And as frequently as they were handing out yellow cards in that first half, of course, with the 5 total, it was like they were those mints at the end of your Olive Garden dinner. I thought maybe we'd get one, but we all saw it in real time and thought that it was a clean sweep. So when the referees blow the whistle and we're back, it'll be Christopher Moreno with a throw-in. Lob it right back to him, looking to make a move. Shucking, jiving, drawing a double team. Yeah, a lot of eyeballs being drawn on him as Victor Clark. The last touch. But he was able to knock it actually off of the Magica Sokker Academy player. So the throw-in coming up here for the Stars. And that means Lorenzo Clark, boring, drops it off here. Want to see another one of those missiles, and he's been so good at just, I mean, that's been the best weapon, as I mentioned in the first half, is just that right arm rocket launcher that he possesses. So it almost takes some of that fear out of the opponent when you just come in with one of those short throw-ins, but I guess can't always have the fireworks. It's not 4th of July every night. There's Victor Clark waiting on hand for the return to action deep in their own territory. The throw in here for Magica. Now here comes the swarm. Those highlighter uniforms for the United Stars. As Chen tries to settle it. Clean header there by Bako. Back into the mixer. Just plenty of bodies flying around out there. But it's Magica emerging from the pack. Got something going here. A couple of touches for Hussein towards the net, but he loses the handle over to Jacob Hunter, who has been rock solid on that back line here today for the Stars. Really did a nice job of just being always there ahead of Brandon Bounden. Extended replay here of how they were able to get on that breakout for Magica. Meanwhile, we did have a whistle in the middle of the field, and it'll be the 4th foul against Magica. So it sets up some prime real estate here for Marco Zanardo. Got 1 goal already today, late in that first half. Try to add to his tally right here. See if he just takes dead aim. He'll chip it, bending, and just missing there on the opposite end was Juarez. You see he was pointing at his chest. He was able to get the defender on his back. He had Navarro out of the picture, but he just could not finish the deal and get clean noggin there on the other side of the ball. So it'll set up now. Actually, must have missed the AR, so it was offsides anyways. Wouldn't have mattered one way or the other. So Magica off the restart. And they'll zip it down far side. Able to fight his way through the first wave, but Jesse Bako able to get back into the action. Slide tackle from Honor. It's loose. Hussein with the shot attempt. And what do we got here? Injured player down on the field. See if we can identify exactly what happened. Okay, actually just an offside call, not a foul. So Magica had a player that was beyond that last defender. And yeah, not an injured player. It looked like just a cramp. So if you keep your eye up at the top left corner, is Kamara. And yeah, he's needing a little bit of help off right now. He's got his right arm draped over Jesse Bako, who's helping him over to the sideline. Getting a little bit of water in them. Hopefully they got some of those Himalayan salts over there. Pickle juice, I'm told. That's always a good one for the cramping. We've got an athletic trader sitting behind us. Is pickle juice, is that legit?
Yes, absolutely.
I've got some verification here. So I just like the flavor. I'm not going to drink it anyway. It doesn't really matter. I don't do it often. But when I do, I feel like don't cramp as much. Haven't cramped in a while though. It's been good. Better knock on some wood there. Who likes cramping? It's one of the worst things on planet Earth, and sometimes at my age, I just turned 40 last weekend, just so you guys know. So I'm likely going to start just reaching for the remote, and bad things are going to happen just in terms of, probably my pinky finger's probably just going to start spazzing out or something. We'll see now that I'm on that opposite end, and I've made it to the top of the hill. That's what I'm told. I'm on the back 9 now or whatever. That backslide and backside charging there for Juarez. Almost had a nice little frequency dialed in right there. You saw the overlap. Here he is. 2 players go on that other side. The spacing wasn't great, but nice read on the opposite side of the equation too for Magica. Be able just to eliminate that offensive possession. But they did draw a whistle and picked up their 5th foul. So right now, Magica's trying to set up. Looks like they got about a 4-man wall forming in front of both Lorenzo Clark and Paul Chen. So they got the lefty and the righty swooping in from both sides. And it'll just be dead aim and a big-time goal here for Lorenzo Clark. He had a couple of helpers. Now he gets a bit selfish with a goal of his own. It is 3-0. And a big afternoon here for Lorenzo Clark. Just gorgeous execution. Angel Sanchez, no shot at that one. He went flying like Peter Pan and just could not get a fingertip on it. And that creates exactly the type of space on the scoreboard that you love to see if you are the United Stars. Heard high school coaches told me way too many times that they don't necessarily love being up by 2. But once you add that 3rd goal, now a lot of the pressure comes off, and even some of the strategy can change as Clark delivers. He's been involved on all 3 of the scores that we've had so far here this afternoon. What a debut for number 17. And oh, by the way, I mean, what a throw-in. So he's definitely head and shoulders, I think, above the rest of the pack right now to be our man of the match, and likely you will be hearing from Lorenzo Clark following what appears to be an opening day victory for the United Stars if they can hold off any type of wild surge here from Magica Sokker. We'll have to certainly pick his brain about if there's any specific exercises or techniques or different valuations that you can do for yourself to figure out how to be a premier throw-in artist, which definitely he's shown he's a Picasso of that here this afternoon. Or if nothing else, he's just like a rocket operator that at any moment just send it to blast off. Victor Clark trying to turn the corner. Found a second defender coming over, but hey, we're getting what we all came for. At least we know now, right? Lorenzo Clark's going to have an opportunity for a throw-in. And he's got to smile because, I mean, it's got to be fun. Got to be fun when you can throw a soccer ball a country mile, and especially when you've got a downhill slope. He's backing it all the way across the concrete. This is good stuff. Outside of your picture, folks. Yeah, the field's way back over here. Lorenzo nowhere to be found. So we'll let you know. He's running. He's releasing, and here it comes. Back post, and he missed everybody again. Just a little bit too much time in the weight room, Lorenzo.
You wouldn't think that could be a thing, but yeah, it's twice in a row now.
Yeah, I've only seen on throw-ins in my lifetime kids overshoot the entire, 18 twice. Oh, both happened today. That was Lorenzo. Just kind of missing out on the action there. So the Stars, though, off of the possession from Magica Sokker, able to get possession right back. Work it now through Zanardo. keeping the carry. Lays it out wide now for Juarez. Looking to make his move, the captain. Pitching it over here near side. He finds Clark. Trying to dance around the defender. Said we'll just drop it back here for Andrew. Just hanging on to possession here. It was 60-40 in that first half. I think it's even tilting a little bit heavier in favor now of the Stars. They've certainly had the run of play here in the second half. Strong slide tackle here for Magica. But the next touch is a giveaway there from Sierra.
Oh, the ref got it.
And now the ref, whoa. He is down. Let's see exactly where he got hit with this. I think he just tried to dance out of the way and just tried to do a little bit too athletic of a move. But he's up, trying to walk it out. And that's a part of the game, too, that you don't think a ton about when the two teams get out onto the pitch, is just that you need your referees to, A, be in some pretty good shape, especially the head official. And then, B, they're humans, too. So when they get cranked with the ball, sometimes they need a little time out of their own. Just awaiting the drop ball. And Moreno, the first to get a boot on it. And a big shot here. Back line headed out of there immediately by Honor. Magica, though, starting to press forward. They've got possession. Far wing. And trying to bleed out to the wing. About 3-4 different dudes. But the pass attempts taken away. Big collision out on the far side. No whistle ever came. And that'll be Sanchez just to scoop it up on the edge of the 18. Sanchez has seldom punted here today. Now the lefty will boot it right into the middle of the park. Big hop back by Zanardo. And he drops it back to Bounden. There's the security blanket, Honor. And that's where Bounden's gone with the ball pretty much every time he's had it at his feet or in his clutches. Now he'll go down low and scoop that up. Big smile cascading over the face there of William Bonneman as he came flying in here. Look, he thought he was going to have a one-on-one. More of an easy save there for Brandon. Zanardo with a big ball near side for Victor Clark. And the referee says it'll belong to Magica. Now third season here for the club out of Columbus. A lot of their players coming from Franklin County, Central Crossing, well represented. All high school players on this Magica Sokker Academy club. And I already told the story in the first half, but if you're just catching on here a little bit late, Justin Reinmuth, along with their coaching staff of Oscar Trejo and then Wilbur Romero, just trying to give an opportunity to some of the inner city kids that, you know, maybe not getting a great look during their high school soccer seasons. And if they can't afford to do club, this is the next best thing. So, you know, he goes about just like funding this and making sure that these kids, they've got a chance to try to get prepared for the game at the next level, get a good look. And certainly, obviously, and especially when it's on platforms like the OH Report, gives college coaches a chance maybe to get a little scouting report and try to see what type of talent is out here. As that is left up for grabs, headed, but it's opposite of the net as Brandon Bounden grabbing his left calf after he sprung up off of the turf. He might have, you know, hurt himself a little bit, but check this out. He's seldom been out of position. He came to try to collect this one, and it just snuck through, gave a chance there for Baumann to come out, but quickly getting to the ball were the United Stars as we've got a foul here. And that'll go against Magica. 16 foul here against them here this afternoon. As the rain starting to dissipate a bit here overhead, but some really dark clouds making their way into the equation. It looks like it's nighttime out here, and they're rolling in rather quickly too. So the rain likely to return, but as of right now, it's just a baby bit of sprinkles. Somehow kept in bounds over on the far side. Nice bit of footwork. Punched out. Shot. And that sails just a little bit tall off of the left foot there of Muhammad Berry. Had a clean look, and you see the agony on his face. Brought it back to his power leg. And just smashed that baby over top. Wasn't able to get underneath it. And got the radar pulled up right now. So we're in a very light cell. However, the state of Indiana is basically all yellow according to the radar, and it is just pushing that whole cell heading our way here pretty shortly. So the match likely will be getting over just in time before we all just become just a soggy mess. And we have to swim our way off of the pitch. So after Bounden able to recollect the ball, we've seen time and time again today that he's played it short out to the right, and Hunter not this time. Big, strong, booming right leg carries it into enemy territory. But it gets launched out back over on the far side. Race for possession. Won by Magica, but they'll turn it over in the midfield here with Juarez. Looking to get around a defender. Nice slide tackle, but he's got backup. And the shot here from Lorenzo Clark comes after he was whistled for being offside. 6th time today that's been the case for United Stars. As the wind gusts now starting to howl through here, through this little valley that we're in. Gorgeous campus here of the Columbus School for Girls, the Kirk campus. Back to action after the offsides. One out of the sky there by Bako. Super athletic kid. And here he is on the ball. Back to Honor. Heavy touch. But then he pushes it forward. Nice setup to the right wing for Copan. But after, a really blistering start here to the second half where the United Stars produced 2 of their 3 shots so far in about the first 3-4 minutes. Things have kind of chilled off for them offensively, and it might be part of the strategy as well. But it's definitely allowed Magica to get a bit more on the offensive. Quick look at the replay. The slide tackle coming in there from Bako. Leaves things open there in the middle. And knocked out wide, a little bit out in front of Omar Hussein. Back to the action. Paul Chen threads the needle through the middle. Big chunk of the jersey. And the referee allowed the play on there, because they had the advantage, of course. But, that's a tough one to miss right there in the middle of the park with Abdai Yakaub just trying to break away, and you see just the stretched jersey on the back. So it'll set up a free kick chance. And prime cut right in the middle of the park. So 3 players on it right now. We've got Lorenzo Clark, Paul Chen. Actually, about 4 players all around it. We'll see who elects to take it. Last time they were in basically this exact position. It was Clark who was able to deliver, send it right into the back. Here he comes again. He'll take aim. This time it skips into the hands of Sanchez. He's able to squeeze it. 9th shot on frame so far this afternoon for the United Stars. Magica with possession, trying to spin their way down the near sideline. Be out of bounds, going the other way. United Stars throwing coming up.
You didn't get it on camera, did you?
See, we've got a few water droplets coming in on our camera lens right now as the wind starting to sweep in. We've got some of that sideways rain. So we've seen a bit of everything. You know, we're kind of like Forrest Gump when he was in Vietnam, and he saw the sideways rain, straight down, rain that barks, all sorts of different styles. We've been a part of that here so far this afternoon. But almost to the end here of this match. And again, our time super unofficial, as there is not a scoreboard with the official clock out there. It's just in the hands of the head referee. Big throwing down in the corner. How about that touch? Try to set it up for the United Stars, but it's knocked out of there by Magica. They'll drop it off here for a new keeper. This is Carter Jordan getting a taste of the action after a shutout for a good 70 minutes-ish from Brandon Bounden of Ohio Dominican. Really played well, solid in between the pipes here. Only had to make 2 saves, but as I alluded to earlier, definitely doing a nice job of just organizing everything across that back line. Yakub, too much heat behind that one as it blows beyond everyone. Pressure coming here from Clark. And a late whistle comes in. 9th total foul against the United Stars. Just 3 of those so far, though, in the second stanza. Here's Moreno off the free kick. That one held up in the sky. You can see now, I think that was a pretty good depiction of just how hard the wind is blowing in favor right now. It's at the backs of the United Stars, so if you were to get a big punt or something here from Jordan, or just trying to send a deep ball, you know, really good time to try to do such things right now if you're a member of the team in the highlighter unis. Quick throw in, but we're going to have to hold things up here. Got a equipment issue going down in the midfield. This looks like a loose shoe. I think it's Angel Rios right now that's trying to lace him up. Got Christian San Clemente in the middle of the field. See if they're able to find him. Big old mix of bodies out there to the right. Flicked forward, and just no charge there for Barry. So a slight miscommunication. As it's handled by Carter. And he'll just leak it out here to the right side. Tonner. It's kind of been his role all afternoon. Bit of a miss hit. One of the few times we've seen that from Bako today. And it allows the ball to stay down at this end, but the shot and the save taken by Carter Jordan out of the sky. 3rd shot on flame for Magica. Frame, I should say, here for Magica this afternoon. As the howling winds really changing just the entire atmosphere and environment. Ball be rolled out on the ground here near side for Zanardo. Got someone set to check in now here for the United Stars. So Coach Tazafor looking to go to his bench unit here in the final, probably about 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes with the extra time. They do stop the clock for events such as this with the substitutions. Quick throw in. Right back to outside, and this will be deflected, of course. Clark tried to drive that one into the box. It'll set up a corner kick. We've seen 5 of these already. This will be number 6. The short ball, Clark to the middle. Couple of players left their feet trying to get a chunk of that with the header. Just missed it. You see there was a fast play here from Chen. Clark again. He's got 2 assists and a goal to his name. Couldn't add another one to the collection right there, but has played so well so far this afternoon. I'm really impressed with what we've seen from the United Stars, certainly with just the team chemistry and continuity at times. They've definitely showed some flashes, a lot of talented dudes out here, but playing for the first time, first ever match. And probably a good one for them to start with to get this thing established against the Magica Sokker Academy that is comprised of all kids ages 15 to 17 and should be playing in the U17 league. But as we touched on already in this amateur adult action, just to get a good look and really try to establish with these kids that this is what you're going to see when you're at the collegiate ranks, so you may as well get used to it right now. Hard chase for Barry down the near side. And it'll be knocked out of bounds. Throwing on the way here for Magica. Just making a business decision there was Lorenzo. And a kid that's just kind of always smiling. He just drove this ball a mile high. And I'll actually hop in the field of play. Stayed in. Looked like that might have been wind aided. Fast throw-in, finds Juarez. Tried to shuck and drive around 2-3 defenders. And a physical attack, little handsy that time. And the whistle's going to go here against Magica. And this has been definitely where there's been the best action so far today for the Stars. They have done their best work off the set pieces, and they've got another one right here. Center cut right in front of the frame. And just beyond that yellow line. It'll be chipped in, near side, headed right back out of there. They'll stick with it though. Jakob lays it out wide. And redirected, but I think offsides is the call. It is, so no goal right there. Nice job battling for Jakob. Set it up perfectly for Bako, and he just needed to fire that thing. Would have been the second goal for Lorenzo, and boy, that would have been just another feather in his cap off of what's been a phenomenal day already. Probably less than about 7-8 minutes to go here in the match. Overtime, not a part of this. And with the differential, it appears the United Stars should be establishing their academy here with a victory coming out of the gates here in their home city. Driven in, knocked down. And taken in stride here by Carter Jordan. Saw Zanardo just stick that lanky right leg out there. Now Honor with a big right leg to the middle. Seen some really good action in the midfield with both sides and units just skying up, making sure that their team's able to get that first touch with the header. Magica definitely has held their own in that department, despite being outsized. Now Juarez takes a hop kind of off the side of his foot, tried to find Kaleki Njoku. Now the rain's starting to pick up to go along with that breeze, so the final whistle probably cannot come soon enough here as storms, as mentioned, and some big ones on their way into the Columbus area very soon. My producer having a tough time. He just got his outstretched arms right now. Just checking that wind, and it's blowing him around. Coming touchline and deflected. So we'll have a corner on the way. It'll be the third opportunity for Magica here this afternoon. And they'll likely put their captain, Chris Navarro, on it. He will trot out there to the post. And basically selling out here is Magica. Why not? 7 dudes up in the box right now. Most of them parading right around the 6. They'll do the dummy, 2 dummy calls, and the drive for the score. Magica on the board here. George Sanchez able to drill it home. So a 3-1 game. And it's probably Jorge. Your last name going to be Sanchez. You sporting a beautiful mustache like that. We're going to call him Jorge, and boom, how about it? Blends that stick of dynamite into the back of the post. Good stuff right there. And for Magica, they've had the run of play offensively here. Probably about the last 15 minutes, they've created some solid opportunities and just never hung their heads or given up. And, you know, they're accustomed to this now, going head-to-head with all these college dudes and, you know, these big-time athletes being high school players. So kudos to them for staying in the game and trimming it down to just a 2-goal differential and looking for more. Here comes Barry in the middle. That's Hussein, rather, excuse me. Got tripped up kind of last moment. And it leads to the breakout here for USSA, but again, a little bit too far for Njoku. As the regulation clock just about done with, then we'll move into our extra time. Hasn't been nearly as much stoppage here in the second half as we had in the first, so maybe a couple 2-3 minutes. Big shot deflected from the right foot of Amar Hussein. Now that was Barry, had it taken away from who else but Lorenzo Clark. Definitely going to be our man of the match. We will hear from him when things are all said and done. Extra time now. Swerving out there still, Paul Chen. He's been active since the first whistle today. United Stars leaving a handful of dudes back, just sending a few up into the box. Jakob trying to take on about 2-3 defenders, and he'll draw the whistle with some aggressive play. Tenth foul of the afternoon against the Stars. Swing and a miss. And that is going to do it, folks. So this is how the match is going to end right here. Very fittingly. Whoop! one of those for the not top 10, but it didn't count anyway, so we can't really put them on that list. As it's 3-1 here, the United Stars, their inaugural match here in the UPSL, and it is a good one. They score the first 3 goals here of the action, and they walk away with a 2-goal differential. We'll step aside. We'll take a quick commercial timeout. When we come back, I'll have some final stats for you guys. You will also hear from the man of the match, Mr. Lorenzo Clark, with the goal, the 2 assists. He was phenomenal. We'll get his perspective on what it was like participating out here. And actually, he's coming over right now. So we'll be back here in about 1 minute. You'll hear from Lorenzo.
Hi, I'm OH Report founder Brian Skoronsky. You just heard me on the call, and you can hear me and all the other family of OH reporters pretty much every night here on the future of local sports.
The MVP today, no question about it. Lorenzo Clark had a goal and a couple of assists on a really crazy day out here weather-wise. So let's just begin with that and the elements that you had to deal with. And how much of an impact do you feel like that had here this afternoon on both teams, of course?
First off, I mean, it definitely affected both teams in the way they wanted to play because the ball's just skidding everywhere. You can't really get a clear touch on the ball, and sometimes it's really hard to just like play in your system because everything's just moving around too quickly, and definitely requires you to run back and forth with the weather just not going in your play.
For the United Stars, this is the first ever match, brand new club. You come out of the gates, you get a nice 3-1 victory. So how satisfying is it to know that you've come out of the gates and you're establishing something the right way?
It feels great, you know. I'm playing here with like a ton of my friends, my roommates, and I mean, it's great to get a win. I already got that chemistry with my teammates, so yeah, it's definitely a great start, and let's keep it forward.
So you know a few of the players already on the team, the other collection of talent blending together. It felt like in stretches today you guys really did have good consistency, nice continuity. So how well do you feel like you've gelled already here at the beginning of spring?
Well, definitely with training, we've definitely talked about it, definitely talked about our strengths and individual players. So it's definitely just like getting to know each other and be able to execute it. And I mean, I have a throw-in, and we're definitely able to execute some goals off that because my teammates know exactly where it's going to go. I know exactly where I want to put it. We got that chemistry link of many years, so it's really just a breeze another day, and we're chilling with that.
That was definitely the most exciting part of the match. You coming down off of the hill with some of those throw-ins. You got like a flamethrower for that right arm, man. So is there any tips that you can give to somebody who watched here today that saw you with those ridiculous throw-ins of how you've been able to do that? Or is it just kind of a natural ability that you've always had?
So I've been able to have it since like maybe the 8th grade, 7th grade, and I would just say I'm blessed with some genetics of being Dominican, and we got them baseball arms. My uncle played in the MLB, so definitely just I would say a little bit of lucky with that, but it definitely came down to my brother. He taught me some form.
Okay.
He was the original guy, and I kind of just mastered it in a way, and I've made it quite my personality when I'm on the field, and definitely use it as an asset to win games.
Unquestionably, man. You got that DNA, but also you got your own little flair and style to it. So that was a big part of the game and how you were able to get all the goals here today. So congratulations on the big 3-1 victory. As you move forward here into the spring, what are you looking most forward to being a part of this UPSL league?
I'm just really excited to get it going. I mean, it's kind of really brand new. I kind of was not even thinking about this 2 weeks ago. So I'm just, open eyes and ready to go and ready to just keep on winning games because I love winning. So, yeah.
1-0 so far in the season. Excellent start for you, buddy. Before we turn you loose, we got a tradition here on the OH Report. Look in that camera. Shout out anybody that you want. You already kind of nodded to some of your family members, kind of helped the MLB player and stuff. But who else has helped you get in a position where you're a great soccer player now?
I would say my mother. She's the craziest person I know, and she definitely pushes me every day. And today's my birthday, actually.
Hey!
So I'll say shout out to Mom for giving me birth and definitely letting me be who I want to be, and she tells me to go out with all my efforts. So, yeah.
How about it? Lorenzo Clark, the birthday boy, showing out here in a soggy day in Columbus. He is your man of the match.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm OH Report founder Brian Skoronsky. You just heard me on the call, and you can hear me and all the other family of OH reporters pretty much every night here on the future of local sports.
It's your post-game coverage here. United Stars, Magica Sokker Academy just wrapping up just in the nick of time. The Storms are coming in here, and the storm has been a brewing here for the United Stars, getting a victory here in their first ever game. Here's how they did it by the numbers. 13 total shots. Didn't have a ton in the second half, but their strategy changed a little bit, you could tell, after they got that 3-goal differential. And I actually had them closer to like 65% possession until about the last 10-15 minutes. Then they allowed Magica to have a bit more of the run of play, and kudos to them and Sanchez and company for sticking with it, staying aggressive offensively. They were able to capitalize there at the end and make the most of their opportunities, so they get on the board 3-1 here, despite being high school players going up against some big-time opponents. You heard from one of them, obviously, in Lorenzo Clark, and there's a lot of other premium top-tier talent on the other side for the United Stars who are just getting their start. And like Lorenzo said, they're just excited to get this whole thing going. So they're off to an excellent start to their franchise history here, looking to establish something, one of the 400-plus teams across North America that are participating in the UPSL this season, and they're doing it the right way, putting together some guys that already have a bit of a background with each other. Lorenzo said, you know, he got his bro and he got some roommates on the team, so good continuity, and I think it showed here this afternoon. Pleasure to be a part of it with you guys. Anybody who tuned in live and free today, or if you're watching it after the fact, really did have a awesome afternoon out here. Glad that you guys could join us here from Columbus, but we got to tear down. We got to get out of here before it turns out to be like that Wicked Witch of the West, picked up and taken away. So clearly not in Kansas out here in the OH, but we are trying to survive, baby. So shout out to Remy Tazafor hitting me up here, bringing us out, along with Kelly from the United Stars for making today's broadcast a possibility. Kudos to both of the teams here today, Magica Sokker Academy and what they're doing. Really love their background story and how they're going about trying to build this program under Justin Reinmuth and everybody. So to both clubs, I'm Brian Skoronsky for my producer Adam Thompson and our camera operator Jory Hollenbeck saying so long from Columbus. Give us a share, give us a like, and we'll see you next week. Baseball and softball action right here on the OH Report.